Meet the all-new Chrysler 300 SRT8, a big and luxurious American car, as well as the all-new Dodge Charger SRT8, which, well, it's also a big and luxurious American car. I recently had a chance to take both cars on the track, the Charger with the engineer in charge of the car, and the 300 with a fellow automotive journalist. Here's what I learned. Now, one of the things that people always think of this car is it's a sledgehammer, right? This is not a scalpel. So have you made this more of a scalpel on the track this year?
Well, with the dynamics that we've been able to tune the car into with the ADS system, yeah, I mean, this car, it's a big car. It's a big four-door sedan. You can put your whole family in the car and drive around comfortably, and yet on the track, the car is very nimble.
Out of the four cars, the Jeep, the Charger, the Challenger, the 300, is this the fastest track car? Or is the Challenger a little faster?
The Challenger is a little bit faster. It's got a little shorter wheelbase, which doesn't really help it per se, but the fact that it's about 150 pounds lighter is the big difference. On the track though, I mean, it's almost more driver dependent than anything. You know, I love the torque. I love the big motor that we have. It's fantastic. You get lots of low end power.
There you go, the back end's coming around now.
Oh yeah, she'll rotate all the way around if you want it to.
Yeah. When you've got it in sport mode, does it completely disable the traction control system, or are you...
No, sport mode. Yeah. Sport mode is strictly for the shocks and then the shift schedule. So we've got 3 modes of ESP that will disable or partially disable ESP. But when you're in sport mode, it holds gears longer, it shifts quicker, and then obviously the shock dampening is significantly changed as well.
Guys, no more than 60 on the first lap, no more than 60 on the checkered lap. The middle 3, have at it. Please wait until the middles.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. We're in the 300 SRT8, which has the same engine, but perhaps a little bit softer suspension setup. At least that's what they tell us.
It's kind of interesting to see the application of the 6.4 kind of across the sedan spectrum. I think you get a pretty good feeling of what it can and can't do.
Feels squishier.
Yeah, it is a lot squishier. I don't know if it'll do that hill much more than 50 miles an hour, yeah, even on a hot lap.
With that big engine, it feels like it's pushing a little bit, like you're getting a little bit of front end push with all that weight up front.
Yeah. The question is are you really wasting all that horsepower in such a floppy suspension? Because there's a lot of horsepower in this car, and if it flops around like this, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. So, whereas in the Charger it felt, you know, pretty fitted and it felt pretty sporty, this just feels like I've still got a whole lot of pedal to give, you know?
Yeah. The engineer that I just rode with said it feels light and, you know, tossable. Would you agree with that, or is it still a big heavy car where you've got torque?
It's a big heavy car. I mean, you can feel it going downhill in this part. You know, it's asking a lot from the brakes at all times. Those big calipers hide its weight pretty well, but it's a whole lot of momentum coming down the hill like it does.